to do. Is it a good idea to tell someone? Right, it is a good idea to tell someone. Okay, who would you tell? Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad are great. That is probably the first person you should tell. But Mom and Dad might not believe you. Did you know that? Because they know this person too. And they're giving you permission to go places and hang out with and spend alone time with this person. So they might be like, no, that can't be true. You're just saying that. It's all right. He's just super friendly. He's just real friendly. It's okay. You're fine. Right? That could happen. And it's part of it is because they really don't want anything bad to ever happen to you. And part of it is because they really have no idea that this could be happening because they trust this person too. So let's say that happens. What do you do then? What do you do if you tell Mom and Dad, and Mom and Dad are kind of like, no, it's okay. He's fine. It's all right. What do you do? And you still have that kind of ick feeling, like something's not right. You keep telling. So then tell someone else. Who else would you tell? Right? Teachers. You can tell your teachers at school. You can tell your neighbors. You can tell your coaches. You can tell your friends' parents. You can tell other relatives, right? Like aunts and uncles or grandparents. The key and most important part of this is that you keep telling people. You keep telling, right? Until someone hears you. You just keep telling them. Because that's when you know that you're keeping yourself safe. That's how you're actively keeping yourself safe. Taking care of your body. That's super special. Okay. There are reasons that kids don't tell. So I'm going to give you some reasons why children don't tell anybody when they get that icky feeling and someone starts touching on them too much and they don't like it. Sometimes the child molester or the pedophile says things like, if you tell people, people will think you are bad. They tell you that. If you tell anybody, people are going to think it's you and you're bad. Or, if you tell our special secret, I'll go to jail. And you don't really want them to go to jail because you've actually had a good time and they're your friend. So it's really hard for kids to tell when they worry that this person might go to jail. They might also say that they're going to hurt your mom or dad, right? Or that they're going to hurt your little sister or brother. Just so you know, that's never happened, right? Your parents got this. They can take care of themselves all the time. They're the grown-ups. Of course they can manage this, right? That's usually not ever true. They're just trying to trick you to keep a secret so that they can keep doing these things to you, okay? They may even say that they're going to hurt you or that you are going to be taken away from your family and from your home. They may hurt you. I'm not sure, right? That's why it's important to tell people before you get to that point, okay? It's important to tell people right away when you start getting that icky feeling. They also aren't going to take you out of your home because someone else is hurting you, okay? Some reasons that kids don't tell is because they're just embarrassed and they're ashamed. They're ashamed of themselves that they did this because it feels bad, but it actually kind of felt good too. And it's really confusing, but then they're so confused and embarrassed they don't want anybody to know ever. I just don't want anybody to know. Some kids worry that they're going to get in trouble. They're going to get grounded. Their parents are going to punish them, right? That's really a valid reason too. Sometimes kids, that's a valid worry. But parents usually don't do that when kids report this stuff, when kids talk about how they don't feel safe. And they also don't want the abuser or the child molester to get in trouble. They really don't, because he has or she has been your friend and done nice things for you. Some kids have told their parent or a safe person, or they believe that they've told a safe person, because they went to their parent and they said, I don't like him. And that's how they feel like they've said something. I don't like him. He just makes me sad. He makes me sad. I just don't like him. Right? And that's their way of telling their parent. And when they don't get the parent's appropriate response, when your parent doesn't go, what do you mean? Well, you don't have to go. And if the parent says something like, oh, it's okay, we like him, he's fine, then kids tend to just kind of ignore it and just keep going. So sometimes they think that they've told. Kids also feel guilty because they did it. And that's a reason not to tell. And unfortunately, there are some children that don't even have words yet that have been hurt, that actually can't tell because they're so little. And this happened to them. But that's not you, because you're not that little anymore. Because you're bigger, and you can use your words, and you can talk about yourself and how to keep yourself safe. And you know how to go to people, right? And you know who to go to talk about it. So, the information that you have makes you bigger and stronger. Remember that knowledge is power, right? We get bigger and stronger that way. And because you can use your words, you can do things to keep yourself safe and tell as many people as you need to stay safe. Do you know what it means if you don't tell anyone? What does it mean? What would happen if you don't tell anybody? There's a couple things that could happen. One is that it could just keep happening to you. And the goal is that that doesn't happen to you anymore. I mean, we need these things to stop, right? We don't want people touching us in our private parts, especially when we don't want them touching us in our private parts, right? And we don't want to have to touch anybody else in their private parts, because that feels icky too. So we kind of want it all to stop. So by not saying something, you actually kind of saying it's okay to keep going, right? The other thing is, if you don't tell, then this person is able to keep doing it to other kids, right? Then if nobody knows, then they just keep going. And now it might not be you anymore, but it might be one of your friends or somebody else in your family. And we kind of don't want that either. We want this to stop, right? And this person needs some help, because it's not okay for grown-ups to touch children in their private parts. Okay, so do you think it's important to tell? Yes, I do think it's a good idea that we tell. You tell a grown-up that loves you, that you know is a safe person. Okay, so now we're going to talk about strangers and people that you don't know or that you don't kind of know. Remember, we were just talking about just now people that you kind of knew, right? That your family knew, that you're familiar with, that you see around. Sometimes the people that you kind of know are like your coaches, some of your teachers, some of your extracurricular things like your ballet teacher or your piano teacher. Some of those people too. People that you kind of know. It could be like a distant relative that comes to visit. It could be one of your parents' friends that they know, but you kind of know them because they're your parents' friends. So those are people that we kind of know. We're going to talk about now is people that you don't know at all. Okay? So, where do you think pedophiles and child molesters hang out? Where do you think they are? Do they look any different? Do you think that they look any certain way? Yeah, they tend to just look like everybody else, right? And they hang out where children are. So, where do you hang out? You hang out at the baseball field. You hang out at Charlie Daniels Park. You hang out at Sky High. You hang out at Pump It Up. Right? These are all places that kids hang out, that if someone wants to hurt children, this is where they're going to go. They might even work at those places. Right? They could be someone that works at Pump It Up. And you go there right? But this is where they are. They're even at the mall sometimes. They're at ball games, they're at football games and baseball games, okay? So they're gonna hang out wherever you hang out. That's where they are, okay? And they don't look any different from anybody else. They look for kids who are alone and upset, okay? Or kids that no one is watching. That's who they want to go after. Remember, these are people that you don't know, okay? So they're just observing and watching. They're at a place where kids are and they're just looking around. They're gonna see if they can find one of you that's just off alone or often sad, right? They also try to see if they can find out what your name is. So if they heard someone call you, hey, Carrie, come here. Come here, I need to give you this, or come here and sit right here for a second, right? They heard your name being called. Carrie, you're up to bat. It's your turn, right? Or they look at your backpack, and your backpack has Carrie on it, right? So then they know what your name is. So they use that, and they say, they call you by name. As often as they can, they call you by name. Hey, Carrie, come here. And I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, I probably know who this is, so I start walking over to him. You're gonna start walking to him. Somebody's calling your name, they must know who you are, right? And then they might tell you something like, your mom's been in an accident and your dad told me to come and get you. What are you gonna do? What if they said your mom's been hurt and your dad said, go get Carrie. She's at the park. Bring her to us. What'd you do? I know, it's very tricky and it's very confusing when you think about that, right? But know that you never go with anybody anywhere, ever. You don't go with any strangers anywhere. And it doesn't matter if they said that mom is hurt, right? Chances are that mom is not hurt. And if mom is hurt, you're gonna have someone to come get you with a safe word. If mom is hurt, you're gonna have Aunt Susie come and get you. I'm not going to send some stranger to come get you. Dad's not going to send a stranger to come get you. We're going to send Aunt Susie, or we're going to send, you know, Mr. John or somebody else that you know. So if someone is walking up to you and you don't know them, and they're getting into your personal space, what should you do? Yes, lots of kids do things like kick them, punch them, kick them in the ding-ding, right? Kick him and run and punch him in the face, yes. And those are all good ideas. But the problem with that is that a grown-up is this big and you're only this big. So it's really hard for you to be as effective. Like, you might really be good at hitting and kicking and punching, but it's not going to be as effective as it would if you were doing it with someone who was your size, right? So when it's a grown-up, it's different because they're bigger. So that might not be the best solution. What else could you do if someone is coming to you in your personal space? What could you do? Let's try just backing up. So as they're moving to you, you just start moving back. Especially because now we know, yeah, I have no idea who this person is. I don't know why they're calling me by name, but I don't really know them. Why do you think it's important to just back away? What does that do? It gives you some space. Right? So if someone wants to reach and grab, you're too far away, right? And you already have a head start. So if you're backing up and you need to turn and run, you're already way far ahead to run away. Because the best thing to do is to run. Running is good and you're super fast. So that makes it even better. But the key is to make sure that you back. When somebody's coming at you and you don't know them, you just start moving back. Right? Yeah, I don't know you. And then you don't have to answer questions because you don't know this person. You don't have to do any of that. Then you just turn and run. Right? If that was to happen, it would be best for you to turn and run to your parent. Run to a grown-up. Right? Don't just go run off and play because somebody needs to know because they might try to call another kid over and not just you. So run to someone and just say what happened. That's all. Okay. If someone